Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Let me just reassess the situation. Let me know if you can hear me all right. We are back for another bit of a live chat. Apologies for anyone who was, I was meant to be going live yesterday. Just let me know if you can hear me all right. We should be absolutely fine this week though. I was meant to be going live yesterday, but the gaffer, Mick Viles, is fishing over at Barston on the European Feeder Cup. So there's like, I think there's 10 teams from countries all across Europe. So, and he's like, come over, take some pictures and stuff and say hello to the lads and that. So that was really nice to get the chance to go and do that. So unfortunately, it was a bit of a last minute thing and I had to cancel my live, but we put a live match out yesterday on the channel and a few of you watched that. So thanks everyone who has taken time out to go and watch that. It's up there now. Like I said, let me know if you are hearing me fine. And we will get down to the. We've got a few subjects today actually that I wanted to talk about. Afternoon, everyone. Afternoon, Jason. Afternoon, Stephen. Afternoon, Malcolm. Afternoon, Stephen. A few of you are popping in now. Brilliant, Steve McCrory. Yeah, so did the live match yesterday. That's up again. Last one of the Barbie Banks little series for a while. It's been really good. I really enjoyed fishing there. So it's been like hard pellet fishing and stuff. And probably a little bit of a break now. And I've got 2 amazing days fishing coming up this week, which is just, I can't wait. Tomorrow, I'm going out with Daiwa's very own Pen Writing. We're going down to the south coast, fishing in the sea for bass with lures. So I can't wait for that. Going down there tonight. I'm going to stop over down there, get up nice and early because of the tides and stuff. Aim to be on the bank for sort of 5 a.m. Fish, obviously, into the first light with lures. Pem shows me that he's found a few spots that are producing some nice fish. So if I catch one, I'll be over the moon. Just one, that's all I want. One nice proper bass. That's all I want. I'm not greedy. And if I catch a few, even better. But yeah, can't wait for that. It should be a good day. And then Friday, I'm going to Ravenfield Pond, which is a venue I filmed at with Mick up near Rotherham. And it's just such a beautiful venue. And I've got to go north on Friday to go see my family. And I thought, perfect opportunity to just call in on the way and do a bit of filming. So we're going to be there with the new fish cameras on Friday doing a bit of filming. So that should be a good one. Pop in for a cup if you want and you can pick up those fox, mate. Steve, if I had time, I would. But to be honest, it's going to be a bit of a smash and grab. Like I said, we're going early and then we're, I don't know what time I'm going to have to shoot because my missus needs me back in for, she's going out tomorrow night. So it's all a bit of a dash. And then I'm going right the way up to Knaresborough on Friday. So it's all right. Magical mystery tour the next few days, but it's going to be brilliant. Got 2 great days fishing planned. So, and that's why I wanted to do about the winter ground baits, because Ravenfield is very much a natural. It's a stocked venue, but it's nothing like a commercial. It's beautiful lakes, like a tiered lakes, like they all run into each other. Very much natural fishing. So we're talking eyed, skimmers, bream, tench, maybe some crusions, maybe some roach. Just nice fishing, but it's one of those venues where natural baits still score. So your maggots, casters, worms, obviously pellets and corn work. And I should be putting some pellets in, but I wanted to make sure I've got my ground bait right. And I thought it'd be a good opportunity to just talk you through what I'm going to use. And it's a mix that I'm going to Hallcroft next month to fish the feeder pairs. I'm actually standing in for Lee Kerry, no pressure. He rang me last night and I put the bat signal up. Can you come and fish for me? So I'm going to go and stand in for Lee Kerry up there, and I just thought I'd talk you through the mix I'm going to be using. So the first, obviously, the goat of winter commercial style ground baits is the F1 Dark. Of course, you've got to have this in your armory. If you don't use it, why not? It's just brilliant. Obviously, it's got that classic sweet sort of smell to it, that creamy smell. It's very, very neutral. It's what I like to call a neutral ground bait. Yes, it's a fish meal base, but there's not actually much fish meal in it. It's very it's a simple ground bait, but it's very, very weak. So it's not a sweet ground bait as in a cereal ground bait, like say Van der Nine's Super Cup or something. It's not like that. It's it's still a pellet based ground bait, but it's very neutral. It's not strong by any means. So it's just a great base. Like you can use that on its own. Absolutely brilliant. It tastes quite like bland. If you put something, I always taste my bait. I know that's a bit wrong, but I put it on, just dip my finger in it and have a little lick of the old ground bait, and it tastes quite bland as F1, but it's sweet as well. So it's a great base to work from, and obviously you get a massive bag of it for the price, so it's good stuff. To boost, because I like to control the fish meal in it, because you still need a bit of fish meal in it, in my opinion. You can use that neat, of course you can, and put casters and stuff in it, but I want to A, increase the binding, and B, increase the fish meal, the power of it. So to use that, it's no secret, we always add Thatchers to it. I like the Thatchers dark. I really like dark ground baits in the winter. It's just a confidence thing, and dark does a lot for me, confidence wise. And yeah, lovely, strong, fine ground bait. Again, you could probably use Thatchers dark on its own, but I like to blend the two together. And at the minute, it's been cold the last few days, but it's getting mild again towards the weekend. So a 2-to-1, 2 parts F1 to 1 part F1 Thatchers dark is about right. But as it gets colder, I'll reduce the Thatchers in favour of the F1 to the point where on them absolutely freezing days, I'd just probably use neat F1. But for the most part, a 2-to-1 mix of those two, deadly. You can't go wrong, whether you're fishing for F1s, whether you're fishing for skimmers, whether you're fishing for roach on commercials. Those two ground baits are going to do you fine. Now, I teased on the thumbnail about my secret weapon, and that is this stuff. Now, you won't be able to find it in these bottles anymore unless you see it tackle shops that still have old stock. It comes in like looks like a miniature, like a jerry can now. They've refreshed like the packaging, but I still got this old bottle, and I absolutely love this stuff. Now, despite what the flavour, obviously this is a banoffee one, but you can get all different types of flavoured ones. But if you dip your finger in this and put it on your tongue, it is incredibly sweet, like pure sugar, and I love that. Adds a bit of stickiness to your ground bait as well, which isn't a bad thing. But I love adding sweeteners to it. It's something that I've learned off other guys, and I'm convinced that adding sweetness to your ground bait is a big edge. And I'm not talking about adding like biscuit or something, like a sweet biscuit, because that'll just change what you're actually putting in. I'm actually adding a sweet aroma to the ground bait and a sweet taste. So what I do, I add that to my mixing water quite generously as well. I put like say I've got a pint of water to 3 pints of ground bait dry mix, which is about right. I'd put like a proper glug of this in, almost so the water discolours, and then mix it with that. It gives it a bit more tack, which is nice, but ultimately it gives it that sweetness. And if you try it, you get that lovely sort of creamy taste to it. Match it with the F1, I think that's a real winner. And it's a lot of people ask me, what are these bait boosters for? And that's just how I use them. I've added them to pellets and stuff in the past, but I love adding them to my ground bait. So it's it sounds a bit pluggy this, but it's not meant to be. It's actually, a lot of the anglers now are using like intense sweeteners, like it looks like a white powder. Some anglers on the continent use that. Some people use like artificial sweetener, like sugar stuff. Some people are using molasses, that kind of thing, to add extra sweetness to these ground baits. So that combination, 2-to-1, with a proper slug of that in your mixing water, is a winner. And it's one that I'm going to be using quite a lot over the next few weeks. So can't wait to try that. With regards to these two ground baits, obviously, if you're buying that, that's going to be 13, 14 quid now. I don't know how much they are anymore, but say 13 or 14 quid for those 2 bags. The good news is, what I like to do is batch it up. So I've mixed it together in a big bucket, the 3 kilos together, and then I'll just take out a couple of pints and mix it into 2-pint bags, because 2 pints of ground bait, 2 pints of this goes a long way. It swells up a lot. So yeah, don't be worried about the cost of it, because 2 pints of ground bait goes a long way in the winter, and those 2 bags will last me ages. So several sessions at least. So just something to bear in mind. The initial outlay seems a little bit much, but it does pay off in the long run. So that's the ground bait mix that I'm going to go with on Friday. Ravenfield, and then it's what I'm going to use at Holcroft as well. Rig wise for Ravenfield, it's about 5 foot deep. So I'm going to go for the old bulks. Lovely. Vulcan 2 droppers, Vulcan 9s and 2 number 10s. Match it up with a F1, B911 F1. I'm in love with my B911s again. In love with them. And I've been given the F1 ones to have a little look at again. I'm going to give them a go. They look really nice. I've even set up a feeder rod as well, because I thought a feeder rod might be quite nice. And you see, I've just whipped up a couple of B911 F1s for that as well. 014. Very nice too. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing this week. And that ground bait, like I say, you can't go wrong with it. If you've got any questions, let us know. There's a few coming in, so we'll get through them. Someone just mentioned about me lovely gilet. It's nice, isn't it? I actually ordered the first one. It was too big for me. I got a large. I'm obviously not a large, despite my impressive gut that is growing. Dad bod. Right, let's get some questions. Stephen wants to know, what do you think of the Absolute seat boxes? I'm thinking of getting one and would like to hear your view on them, as I know you still have one. I don't actually have an Absolute. I have an Inception. However, a lot of guys now are moving on to the Absolute, the new one. Mick's got one. Lee Kerry's got one that I go out with. Sam Collins just bought one. I see Christian Jones has just got one. Paul Holland's just got one. A lot of anglers who are unattached to Preston are changing to that box, which I think speaks volumes. And obviously, I was at Preston still in the development stages of that, and I just think it's a great box. And Absolute boxes and the Inception boxes are just workhorses, aren't they? Really good seat boxes. We're on the international break, so we can still get away with this. So, Stephen, if you're in the market for a new seat box, check them out, them Absolute ones. I think they're probably the best boxes on the market, aren't they, to be fair? Right, there's a couple more questions. How many fish, Malcolm Randall wants to know, how many fish do you think swim by your hook bait without taking a slight bit of notice? I think if you knew how many did swim past your hook bait without taking it, I think it'd do your head in. So best not to think about it. Stephen wants to know, family's good, family's great, thank you. Is it a good idea to mix churn with fish meal? Churn? I don't know what you mean by churn, Dave. Let us know. Would you ever go for dark green ground bait or use a non-dark and just add dye to it? That's an interesting question, Chris. Green's a favourite colour of mine, particularly in strongly coloured water. I love green. So throughout the summer, green is a very, very good colour, in my opinion. It also works on clear waters for some reason. It must be how it's shaded on the bottom, not sure. But it's always worked really well at Ferry, for instance, which can go really clear in the summer. And actually clouding it up with green ground bait can work. Obviously, green paste is good in the summer. And a few people I know, Rob Wootton uses green ground bait throughout the winter. So it's just a confidence thing. And I've got a lot of confidence in black ground baits, certainly dark ground baits. So just something to bear in mind. But yeah, I'd be happy to use green. F1 green, I'd be happy. If I didn't have this and I could only get hold of F1 green, I'd be perfectly happy. But obviously the dark fills me with confidence. Would you ever, yeah, just answer that one. Look at New Pole under $2,000. I'm currently thinking Matt Preston or Matrix. Do you have a recommendation? Well, I can only talk about my recommendation, Roy, and based on what I've used. I've used a Superior X70 now for, well, since development stages, and it's been great. Make no bones about it. I cracked one when I was breaking down by accident. My fault, fish was going one way and I just crunched it in my hands. But considering the amount of use I've given that pole, amount of abuse, wear and tear and stuff, it's still going strong. So I can't fault that pole. It's been really good. And I know a lot of the Preston guys have got them as well, as backup poles, and they're starting to use them as well. So yeah, I'd have to go with the X70 just based on personal experience. But if you get to a pole alley, I'm sure that's the best way to go about it. If you just want a proper workhorse, Daiwa G90, you can't really go wrong with them neither. So they'd be my two personally. I've not seen the new Matrix. I've not seen the Mavers in that price point. I've not seen the Mac poles in that price point. So I can't, it wouldn't be fair for me to comment on them. But if you just want two good workhorse poles, X70 from Preston and the Daiwa G90, you can't really go wrong with them. What else? Someone actually asked me when I put on my little community tab about going live today about what kit I'm using now, because obviously I'm with New Fish, but we don't do rods, we don't do poles, we don't do reels, we don't do seat boxes. And to be fair, most of my kit is still Preston. For good reason, it's brilliant. I saw in the picture, I've got an Arity 1011. Now the reason is I just want to see what other options are available. I've used Preston rods for 4 or 5 years now. I just wanted to see what else was available. So I trekked myself to an Arity early in the year, and I really like it, 1011. I see they've got some new ones coming out. A slim model, I believe. I'm out with Pem tomorrow, so I'll ask him about them, see what the crack is. But yeah, I carry on using my Preston reels, for example, my Centris and my Magnitudes. Really like them. I've got some extremities that I use as well for like my chub fishing and stuff and feeder fishing. But yeah, I don't got no reason to change. But I'm open to using anything now, really. But I'll still use my Preston kit because it's good. That's the top of it. Steve wants to know enjoying the freedom being away from Preston. I'm enjoying having a bit more time on my hands, as in, you know, we can go and shoot stuff that isn't necessarily product led, which is quite nice. So me and Mick can go off wherever we fancy, really. It's really nice. And obviously it gives me a bit more time to do my own fishing as well. So it's really good. But obviously I had a great time when I worked at Preston. So it's, I could win either way. So that's a good thing. Oh, sorry, Dave, you want to know about mixing natural ground bait with fish meal ground bait? Is it all right to mix together? Absolutely. And I've done that a lot. If you mix super skimmer and F1 together, or super skimmer and Thatchers together, for example, you're going to have a great ground bait. And a lot of people do that. I used to use, what did we used to use at Porth Reservoir? We used to use F1 Original, which was obviously a light brown colour. I forget what we used to use. It might have been Lake or something like that. Census Lake. I can't remember. There was 2 sweet ground baits we used to. Super Lake, Van der Nine Super Lake. That's what it was. We used to use Van der Nine Super Lake and F1 Original mixed together on Porth. And I think I won my section 5 years, 5 festivals running at Porth. And Lee won his section 6 or 7 running at Porth using the same. We used to mix up at the same time. So, and that was great. And that was before Sonu ever did sweet ground baits. But now I've just used that sweet skimmer. I know Des even does it a lot. He'll put, when it's really cold, he'll put, say F1 Dark or Thatchers Dark, and then add it to something like Lake or something that's got quite a bit of activity with it to help pull some fish in on those hard days. So definitely something to consider. And just mixing your fish meal with good old-fashioned brown crumb can work really well. I've caught loads of fish on that over the years. Thatchers and brown crumb is a great ground bait. Fish love brown crumb. So yeah, if you want to try that, go. It's up to you at the end of the day. You can definitely mix the two together. I was just thinking, if you get any more questions, get them in. I was out obviously with the England lads yesterday. It's great to see. Obviously, at Newfish, we've got 4 anglers actually competing on this European Feeder Cup. Mick Viles is obviously the England feeder team captain, so he's in there. But they've also taken a team of youngsters. I say youngsters, like another team of anglers that they're hoping to bring on, get them involved with it from the early stages and moving them up maybe into the full team in years to come. Who knows? But I think we've got Sam Collett, who's a Newfish angler. I saw Dean posted a video a little while ago of him landing a carp in the early stages of the match, so that's great. Rich Wilson, 2 other Newfish recruits, and then we've got Rich Vaughan, who is also fishing in the England Masters team. So we've got a really good lineup there. The lads are going to do brilliant. It's going to be fantastic. So there's 3 days. So keep an eye out on the Drennan page, the England Feeder Team page on Facebook, this is, and the Angling Trust Competitions page, because they've got lives going on and updates and stuff. So it's really interesting seeing all these foreign teams coming over to a venue like Barston that we all know so well and fishing it with like sticky mag and stuff like what we would never ever use. So it was interesting yesterday, and they were all catching loads of fish, so should be a really good 3-day match. That should. Right, we're getting a few questions coming in. Ian Taylor, I used a banoffee on meat and corn, done the evening before, and had a cracking day's fishing. Yeah, you can't, like I say, old bottle, ignore the old bottle, but you cannot. It's good stuff. It's good stuff, and like I say, it's super sweet. So if you add it to your ground bait, you can taste it through the ground bait, which I love. I enjoy. Sorry, I got that one. Got that one. Last, I fished a few times with Andy May. What a smashing fella, full of fun. Who did you have the most fun filming with? Oh, God. That's putting me on the spot. I've been out with loads of people, haven't I? Andy May was obviously always a great guy to go out with. Des was great fun. Lee was great fun. I had a great time with everyone. Westy was good fun. I had a great time with anyone. I'm quite an easygoing sort of guy, so it was always a good time, really. But yeah, it's hard to say. Andy May, you always have a great laugh with him, and Des, you always have a great laugh out when Des is in a good mood and not a moaning mood. He's absolutely awesome company. So yeah, Jake, hello Jake. He wants to know where my fishing's taking me over the next few months. Surely the Silverfish events appeal. Yeah, definitely. I noticed even a few have crept up, haven't they, recently on Wednesdays and stuff. So definitely be doing a bit of silverfish fishing. Like I say, Holcroft Winter Pairs, the feeder one. I've been asked to fill in for Lee Kerry, so I'll do that. And someone else asked me yesterday if I could fill in after that for someone else. So I don't know what the rules are, but I'll probably get a couple of those in, which is nice. Which is a bit why I'm sorting out my ground baits and stuff. There's that Sunset Lake at Shearsbury where me and Jake filmed. That does like Thursday matches. It's not a big lake or anything, but if you just want to go and have a really nice day, that'll be good. I'll be going there. Holly Farm is another local venue where it's just out and out F1 fishing, lots of little F1s and stuff. I'm going to be going there. So a bit of everything. And then, of course, chub fishing, which takes over for me. I have been having a look at the river and keeping an eye on it. It's looking good. We've got some new water to fish this year, so it's going to be interesting. Do I have any inside information on the new Feeder Master sponsor? No. If anyone's got any, interest, if you've got any suggestions, or anybody outside of fishing wants to get involved, or anybody inside fishing wants to get involved, then don't hesitate to get in touch, because we are actively looking for sponsors now. Yeah, it was a bit of a shock that Preston dropped that, but we've had a great spell with them. Obviously, it's been I think it's seven years now of great competition and great sponsorship. So nothing lasts forever, and unfortunately, Preston thought the time was right for them to drop it. So thanks to them for the amazing support, because it is amazing support. It's very difficult to get proper sponsorship these days for events in fishing. So it's obviously a great partnership over the years. Right, who else have we got? Do I sieve off my F1 dark when it gets really cold? I do, but it's not to reduce the feed content or anything like that. I just like having my ground bait to be consistent throughout, so I just get rid of it's fine anyway, so you don't need to do it, but it's just something I like to do, a bit faffy. I like my ground bait really fine in the winter. Just something I do. Get any more questions in if you got any more in. Someone asked me actually about my pellet rig on my latest video. I thought I had one. I'm gonna quickly rustle up a pellet rig for you, because someone asked me in my latest live match about it. Now you're gonna have to ignore the fact that there's no float on it, but that is what I'd be using, the Cypri. I've been using them in like 4x12 or 4x14. Tight across, even 4x16 at times. Look at this. I'm just going to quickly whip up a shotting pattern to show you, because someone was asking why I have it like I do. And every time I go out with Mick, he's like, why on earth have you got that spread bulk shotting? And I believe it just keeps better contact with your hook bait I think it keeps the line tight between your float and your hook bait, basically. So that's why I have that. Oh, I'm getting the right angle here. That's why I have that strong bulker shot. So let me just show you. It's just a bit, I think it's just a bit nicer than a bulk and 2 droppers for carp fishing, this is. And when you're fishing dead depth and you wanted to see everything, I think it's just a little bit nicer than bulk and 2 is fine when you're fishing, a couple of inches over depth, natural baits, that kind of thing. So like Friday, for example, I'll be fishing at Ravenfield Ponds and I'll be using a bulk and 2. So I'm just quickly whizzing a couple of shot on here for you, just to show you. Just move them a bit closer. So I'll put 5 on, but obviously it depends on how many shots your floats take. But this is kind of what I'm looking to achieve. So we've got, you see that? 5 shots. Like I say, it could be 6, it could be 7. I'll leave that on the white, you can see. There's 1 in my fingers there, and then there's 5. And I imagine it just keeps everything tight. It presents the pellet quite nicely because you get a bit of a fall of your bait. It keeps everything nice and tight. It's positive as well. It gets down quick without being a solid, horrible bulk. Like just a solid bulk of shot 4 to 6 inches from the hook. I think it's just a bit ugly, especially when you're fishing hard pellets and they're fluttering through the water and stuff. I just think anything that you do get an odd one on the drop with this shotting pattern, and I do think that over maybe in one match it doesn't make a massive difference, but over the course of 10 matches, when you maybe catch another 7 or 8 carp throughout those, makes a big difference, I think. And it is felt like the Jamie Hughes curve thing, but I mean, Steve Ringer, he's been using that shotting pattern, hasn't he, for 20 odd years on his commercial fishing, and I've always used it. It's just a great shotting pattern. Like I say, it could be more shots than that. It's positive. It's like a bulk, but not. So you still get a bit of a fall. You still get the curve, and it gets your bait down, and you still catch a few on a drop. So I just think that that's a great shotting pattern, and it's one that served me really well for my hard pellet fishing. So there's 73 of you watching at the minute, which is fantastic, but I've only got 13 likes. So give me some likes, because I like to, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because it's great. 84 of you watching now, and I've only got 14 likes. That's shameful, isn't it? recap on how you make your chub paste. I will actually film that again because it has changed a little bit. I was getting a few problems with my paste going really hard in the winter. Oh, the lights are coming in now. We're getting a lot of problems when we were getting some really brutal. If you remember last winter, we had some brutal cold weather, and the traditional paste that I did the video on was a little bit. It kept going a bit too stiff, so I changed it to this. It's actually a boilie base mix with blue cheese added to it, and it was a game changer. Even when it was freezing, it was still lovely and soft. I caught loads of fish on it. Still a bit early for that though. January and February is the time for cheese paste. So I think that's about it. I forget what someone else asked me a question the other day. Oh, some great news about new fish as well, regarding products, because I know a lot of you are asking. So the folding bowls, the folding ground bait, maggot, pellet bowls, whatever they are, you know, whatever you want to put in them. We do 2 sizes. They've been out of stock all summer. They're just a lovely little fabric bowl, like a ground bait bowl that folds up like a handkerchief and just slots in your side pocket to carry all. They're back in stock. We just got them back in stock this week. So they'll be going out to shops today, tomorrow, Friday. So they'll be drifting back into shops this week. The bowl and ring, I have it on my front leg for just a lovely little ground bait bowl with a ring on it. Perfect for a little bit of ground bait. Water for when I'm paste fishing. They're back in stock. Let me have a look because there was a bit of a list. Zips back in stock after a few weeks out. The floats are back in stock, which we've sold loads of. Shorty keep nets are back in stock, the 2 meter keep nets. Our hair nets, they've been out of stock for a little while because we've just sold so many of them this summer. They're back in stock. Folding bowls, bowl and ring. The slim side tray, the Aqualock Slim, back in stock. The plastic side tray, back in stock. And then a lot of the zips back in stock. So massive restock. And we've also got a new product that's going to be coming out over the next few weeks, which we've started to tease a little bit on our Facebook page, but no one seems to have bitten on that one yet. But it's on there. Just another thing, I put in the community. Yeah, let's get it to 50 likes. Come on, we've got to 34 likes now. Come on, and there's 80 odd of you, 86 of you watching now. Come on, let's get it to 50 likes. Let's get some subscribers. I put in the community post this morning. I was spooling up my reels, and I was out the other week. I'll tell you what, it was when I did the Hulk and Hunt video. When I went up and visited Hulk and Hunt HQ, and Oliver Scotland said he'd been using this animal feeder, and I've got to be honest, I didn't even know it existed. I've always used Preston sinking feeder mono. I absolutely love it. It's great. 38 likes, keep them coming. It's got that lovely deep green colour. I use it straight through for my chubbing. I use it for all my feeder fishing. I love it. And then Oliver said it was brilliant, this animal stuff. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. I never really thought about it. And then I saw Alan Scott on at Tamar, and he asked me what line I've been using, and he said he's been using this. I was like, weird. Obviously, Oliver and Alan talk a lot, so I get it. I get why them two would be using it. Then Sam Collett came up to me the other week, and he says, you know what, I've tried this animal feeder. He's like, really good, you know. And then Mick had got some as well. So he passed me a spool the other day, and I put it on my reel this morning. I put some £5 on. I tell you what, it's really good. And you get 300 meters. I think it's $7.90. Let me just double check the price. But you get 300 meters for a good price. Let's just double check it. And it's one of those products I didn't even know existed. Obviously, Camsan do some great hooks and stuff, but I didn't even know they did the line. They do like fluorocarbon and all sorts. I didn't even know it existed. $7.95 for 300 meters. So even if I actually only spool up with 100 meters, that's what I do. So I get free reels out of that for $7.95. So bargain. So I'll let you know how that goes on. I put it on the £5 on for me Ravenfield session, and then Holcroft, that's what I use. We're up to 41 likes. So come on, let's get to 50 before I finish. Stephen Armstrong, the 60-40 side tray, is it self-supporting, or do you need a support arm? All our side trays are self-supporting. The Aqualock, the main Aqualock, the combi come with an attachment on the side, so you can put a leg on, but you don't need it. The brackets are brilliant. They're like self-supporting, so you don't need an arm, you don't need a leg. We do supply them with a leg, but you don't actually need them. It's more for giving you something to put an accessory on rather than the side tray needing it. So whereas some side trays are like that, aren't they, when you put a bit of weight on? Ours, they've been designed in a way that when you put weight on them, they actually sit down to where they should be. to use them. So the 60/40 tray is the one I use. I use either that or the hoodie, and it's been great. So yeah, bring on the cheese paste. Of all the anglers you have been out with, who have you learnt the most from? Oh God, how can I answer that? I could say the obvious ones, couldn't I? Obviously Lee, who is just phenomenal, isn't he? I've learnt so much off Lee over the years. Ringer, learnt a lot off Ringer over the years. Rob, I think Rob Wootton's, obviously I speak to him weekly, learn a lot off Rob. Mick now, he's at the top of his game, I believe. Like, I speak to him about fishing, and he's in such a deep, focused situation where he's just seeing it differently to other anglers at the moment. But I tell you what, one I've really enjoyed going out with is I was just thinking off the top of my head as anglers that I've really enjoyed going out with and learnt a lot from. James Robbins. I went out with James a number of years ago for Match Fishing Magazine. I've only been out with him once, which is a shame because I really enjoyed my day with him. And we went on the Warwickshire Avon in the middle of winter, and it was one of those days where the only bite you're ever going to get is off a chub. And he fished waggler, and I think he fished stick with like really delicate lines, tiny hooks. And James is a proper river angler. He's not, by that I mean a traditional angler. Like, he ties his hooks as he goes. He ties, like, doesn't use loop to loops. You know, a proper river angler who is just constantly changing his hooks and stuff. He's just like, you can tell that he's just proper on it. And he caught as a, you know, like 6 or 7 chub that day on a rock hard day. And every time he did something, he'd like took some depth off, put a different hook on, a little hook, up the feed, or every trick he tried worked that day. It was one of those days. And yeah, he was, I'd love to go out more with him. And he's had so much success, hasn't he, in river matches and stuff. I think he's, because I don't get to go out with a lot of those traditional river men, that was a real eye-opener, that one. So shout out to James Robbins and Cadence. What would your non-commercial groundbait choice for silvers in winter be? Depends on the venue, really, because a lot of venues do respond to fish meal. So if it had any sort of form, Thurston, for example, or Bow Beach, you know, these venues that see a lot of carp fishing, then I would still use that. I'd probably just put less factors in. I'd just use that because I do think that silvers respond to that groundbait now, whether it's natural. But if I was just going on a river or a deeper canal, or I'd probably, if I was going on a river, I would probably use a mix of the new sonubaits, deep water groundbait. That would be my base because it's a sticky one. And then I'd add probably either Black Roach or Black River to it. I really like Black River. I've caught loads of fish with it. We're nearly at 50 likes, everyone. We're at 47. I really like Black River. I've caught loads of fish with it. And what I like about it, when I used to use it on the Trent, when you catch a roach, you'd be like spewing it up, which says to me that they like it. But yeah, that new deep water one's really nice, really salty. And I think salt plays a big part in groundbait success on natural venues. So that's what I'd use. I'm not the person to ask about shallow canals. I hate them anyway. So I'm not the person to ask for that. Can you ask Pem if Advantage Baits and the Gloucester have been discontinued? I will ask him. I did see that people were saying Advantage Baits have gone. Obviously, I've got no inside knowledge of that one. But I did see also that it was getting delivered. So if you're a fan of that, it might be still available. I'm not sure, but I just use Sonu. But the Gloucester float's obviously really good. And I'm sure if you go on Bennick Angling, then you'll be able to get some Gloucester floats anyway. So they might have been discontinued, but I'm sure Perfect or whatever will still be selling them. My likes are going down. How's that happened? Someone's just took the like off. I've got another few minutes if you want to get another question or two in. But yeah, so that's just a recap. I'm going bass fishing tomorrow with Pem. That's just going to be so good. I've got my kit ready. It's just ready to be loaded up, ready for the. I'm going to go down tonight. I'd love to have a chuck in the dark tonight, but we're going to be fishing in the dark tomorrow. So that's a good point. I need to charge my headlamp. 49 likes. We're nearly there. As soon as I get to 50, I'm going to stop. And yeah, so that just as a quick recap of what we've been chatting about. If you are going, 50 likes. If you are going commercial stillfish fishing this week, give that a go. Like I say, 2 to 1 is about right at the moment while it's still relatively mild. As it gets colder, drop a bit of factors out and go more F1. But you can't go wrong. blend the two together dry in a big bucket and then scoop out 2 pint into 2 pint bags. It's just a way of getting a lot more bang for your buck because it swells up a lot, and you can always mix up 2 of those 2 pint bags, but I'd rather just not be throwing it. I always mix up too much anyway. So Jake will hate. Oh, look at that. Someone just give me a super chat. £4.99. Have a bovril at Old Trafford on me. Thank you very much, Richie. Yeah, if you just batch them up. Jake will hate me for saying it, but it's just the way that I keep it down to. I hate throwing it away. Add the bait booster as a sweetener. I didn't tell you that, but that's good stuff, that is. And then good to go. So thank you very am I filming? What do you think, Stephen? Should I film the bass? I'm undecided on filming the bass session. Partly because I don't know where to put it. Because every time I put something chub or low fishing related on this channel, it just dies. And yeah, I'm not sure. I might film it for my sake. I might film it. Should I film it, bass fishing? It'd be fun, won't it? Because it's going to be dark and I ain't got a clue what I'm doing. GoPro's there, innit? I have to. Yeah, sod it. I'll film it. I'm not going to add it to the other channel because I'm kind of letting that one fade out. I think I mentioned it before. I'm chub fishing, my perch fishing, all that. I want to just do that for myself rather than giving my spots away because that's come back to bite me a few times already. So yeah, but this bass fishing, it's probably a bit of fun as well. Pem's a good laugh, so might get a bit of footage. It won't be a long one or anything. And Pem does a lot of it, but we're definitely not experts, so it'll be a laugh anyway. So yeah, go for it. I will film it. You've talked me into it. We'll be with the New Fish cameras on Friday. If you're interested in the England feeder team, go on the England feeder team page, give them a like. Drennan International Angling Trust competitions are all doing live footage. So if you want to see Mick and Sam, Rich Wilson, Rich Vaughan in action, then those guys will be on there. Come on, England is what we want. We want to see another gold medal for them boys. And thanks everyone. Just a quick one while there's 80 odd of you watching now. We've got 52 likes. Oh, there's another question coming. I will answer that. Let me just recap that list of stuff that we've got back in stock this week because it's been a big week for stock. Plastic side tray, the one I use on my back, the back of my box, is back in. Aqualock Slim, back in. Shorty keep nets, our 2 meter keep nets, back in stock. Hair nets, back in stock. Folding bowls. Everybody's been asking for folding bowls all summer. Back in stock. Bowl and ring, back in stock. Fantastic. Great restock. When will a pole range be out from New Fish? Never. Never say never, but I can't see us getting involved with poles. There's too many people that are really good at it. There might be other things we get involved with, who knows, but I can't see us getting involved with poles. There's too many companies are too good at it. So I can't see it, but you never know. You never know. We're on a massive upward trajectory. So you never know. The sky's the limit for us, I think, at the moment. So yeah, it's really good. It's really, I must admit, it's New Fish is going really well. It's great. But I can't see the pole thing happening personally, but you never know. You never know. That's not to say we won't, but who knows? I'm sure where our focus is probably best put into all the other bits and pieces that you all love. So that's the longest live we've done yet. So it's really good because we've had questions coming in all the time. We've had likes coming in all the time. We've even had a super chat. So thank you for that, Richie. I don't know if I'm going to get... In fact, Jake, if he's still watching, we need to arrange a day to go to Old Trafford. 56 likes, Steve. Yeah, we need to get to Old Trafford with Robbie Griffiths from Preston. I know they went the other way. I need to come up and watch a game, preferably when we've not got so many injuries. So thanks, everyone, for watching. I'm going to bugger off. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the live match that I did yesterday. I put it on there. Fishing Extreme Winds. My pole was bent double. Check it out. And we'll see you again on the next one. Thank you very much, everyone, and see you soon.